Thank you all for coming today. Today is the last Sunday of our lectionary cycle year. It's the last of it. It is the December 31st of our liturgical calendar. And today we have a reading for Christ the King. It proclaims Christ as King. And we have a reading from the Passion narrative from the Gospel according to St. John. And I just want to take a moment. I want to put us all there for a bit. And I know that some of you have been to the Holy Land and know the place that I'm speaking about. But for those who haven't, I want to describe this for you. So there is a rectangle on the top of the old city of Jerusalem, and the rectangle is 40 acres. And in that rectangle, almost in the middle, there was the temple, and that was the second temple. Do you remember that the first temple built in about 1000 BC by Solomon was destroyed, and then at the restoration, the second temple was rebuilt around 400 BC. And the temple is the most sacred place in Judaism in its day. It was a temple-based religion until the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. For those of you who have seen those pictures of the so-called Western Wall, the so-called, before that, the Wailing Wall of Jewish men and women doving before the wall. This is the most sacred site in Judaism, and that is below where the temple was. Now, if we have this rectangle, at the corner over here, there was something known as the Praetorium, and the Praetorium is where the prefect lived. And we hear it translated today as headquarters. It would have been known as the Praetorium, the Latin in Jesus' day. It's sometimes translated as the palace, but the palace is a terrible, terrible translation. This was not a palace. If you've ever been overseas and you have seen American embassies overseas, they are made to look often as beautiful places, but be assured that all of our embassies are forts. If you've ever been to the American embassy, the former American embassy in Tel Aviv, it's a beautiful building and it's a fort. And this Praetorium was a fort of sorts, right? Now, Pilate did not live in the Praetorium on a full-time basis. Pilate, who was the governor of the area of Judea and Palestine, the Roman governor, right, the ruling empire power of the Romans, he actually lived most of his time down on the Mediterranean in another fort because they were controlling the trade routes. But during the holy season of Passover, when the pious Jews, some of the pious Jews, would make the pilgrimage on foot to the holy city of Jerusalem, which is up 4,000 feet. You notice how you always go up to Jerusalem. Well, Pilate goes up to Jerusalem too, but he goes on a horse, right, with his army, his Roman army, and he shows up and he comes right into the altercation over Jesus.